What's up everyone, I'm Tim and this is my channel 40 Times Around, where we talk about everything related to motorcycles, camping, travel, and adventure. Today I'm going to tell you 5 things you should always have with you when you're motorcycle camping, and they're definitely not the most obvious things, so stick around. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to be sharing 5 things you should always take with you when you're motorcycle camping. I'm actually going to throw a bonus one in at the end, so make sure you stick around for that. The first thing that I always have with me when I'm motorcycle camping is plastic bags. Now, these come in so handy for so many things. For one, your trash. That's the obvious one, right? You gotta pack it in, pack it out, take all your trash with you when you're camping. It's also great for dirty laundry, keeping your dirty laundry separate from your clean laundry. Another thing I've found is if your boots get wet, you can actually put them on as socks and then get on the bike. That way your feet aren't in wet boots. There's a barrier between the moisture and your feet. And the wind from riding the bike will help your boots dry out quicker. That's another neat little trick you can use. So definitely have some of these with you if you stop at a gas station before you set up camp for the night and you buy some water or snacks or whatever. Make sure you keep those plastic bags and then drop your trash off when you get to the gas station in the morning. Now the second thing you should always have with you is some rope or paracord. Now the most common thing I'll use this for is airing out my sleeping bag in the morning. If I do laundry while I'm camping, I can use it as a clothing line. There's a lot of reasons to have this when you're camping. It also comes in handy as an emergency if when you're riding the bike, if you happen to go over, if you're off-road like me, if you're off pavement riding, there's a good chance you might go over. If anything comes loose, your case busts off the bike, you can always use this paracord to tie it back to the bike, and that'll get you home at least. So it's definitely worth carrying some paracord. You can also use it for a bear bag. Actually, even if it's super windy, you can use this to kind of tie down your tent, tie it up to a tree. That way it's at least a little more sturdy for the night. Okay, the third thing you should always have with you is going to be toilet paper. Now, other than the obvious use for toilet paper, for example, where I am right now, I'm up in the mountains. It's November in Arizona, but it got pretty chilly last night. So my nose was running. It was nice to have some of this to blow my nose. But also, if you're in an area where you don't have so much kindling, or maybe it rained recently so everything's wet, you can use toilet paper to help you get a fire started, which is a huge bonus for carrying some toilet paper. Obviously, you should have this with you anyway for the obvious reason, and make sure to carry it in a waterproof bag so it doesn't get wet, because then it's pretty much going to be useless. So definitely carry some toilet paper with you, and it actually doesn't hurt to carry some wet wipes too for similar reasons. And you can also give yourself a dry shower, and those come in really handy too, so that's another thing you should always have with you. Just kind of add on to the toilet paper thing. So funny enough, this fourth item is extra batteries, and I don't actually have any with me. Now these would be for your headlamp, and the reason I don't have any with me is because I stopped carrying them recently because I just purchased a rechargeable headlamp, and this thing is really great, by the way. It's super bright. It really wasn't very expensive, and it's rechargeable, so as soon as it starts going dim, I just know that I need to plug it into either one of my portable power packs, or I can charge it on the bike while I'm riding around the next day. Having extra batteries though, I have had headlamps run out of batteries while I'm camping, and luckily I had some batteries, so I wasn't without light. I wasn't, having to deal with using my phone as a flashlight, which it'll get you by, but it's kind of annoying if you're trying to cook or do things. It's not very practical. So definitely carry some extra batteries for anything like a headlamp that is going to be kind of important while you're camping. So the fifth item is going to be extra fuel, depending on how long you're camping for. If you notice that one of your fuel canisters is getting low and it might run out soon, you should probably have a backup. You definitely don't want to be running out of fuel for your stove when it's time to make coffee in the morning, or if you're ready to make dinner and you're out in the woods, how far from the closest store or restaurant. You definitely don't want to be without fuel to cook with. So carrying an extra thing of fuel, obviously if you're going for one night and you have a brand new canister, you probably don't need an extra. That should be more than enough to get you through the night and the next morning. Just something to consider, bringing an extra one if you're going to be on maybe a multi-day trip, or if you notice that your main fuel canister is getting low. Okay, the sixth item is going to be an extra lighter or fire source. This could be waterproof matches, a regular lighter, a Bic lighter, one of these lighters. Really doesn't matter as long as you have a backup way of making a fire. Now, this is actually the only lighter I have, and a trick I'll use if that runs out is my stove is self-igniting. I can use this to get a fire going if my main lighter runs out. So I'm never stuck without a way to make a fire. Okay, so that was actually 6, and I haven't gotten to the bonus tip yet. So this is the bonus, actually 7th item that you should have with you, and that is duct tape. Now in my toolkit on my motorcycle, I have a couple of wrenches that just have some duct tape wrapped around them. If you've seen my hacks video, I've talked about a similar trick. And you know, you definitely don't need a whole roll. You know, altogether, I probably would say I got about 3 feet worth of duct tape rolled up. Now, this is going to come in handy for a lot of things. Obviously, repair jobs on the bike, but also if your tent gets a leak or one of your tent poles snaps, you can, you know, make a splint for it and basically tape one of these wrenches right to your pole, to your tent pole. So there's a lot of reasons when you're camping to have duct tape. You can get pretty creative with it. It'll solve a lot of problems for you, so it's definitely worth having some duct tape when you're motorcycle camping. And the fact that there's even a motorcycle involved, you should have duct tape with you. It will fix so many things on a bike too, at least fixed enough to get you home. So anyways, those are my 7 items that you should always have with you when you're motorcycle camping. Hopefully they weren't all too obvious for you. And maybe I gave you some ideas on some different ways to use things you might have already been carrying. As always, if you got something out of this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss anything whenever I post something new about motorcycles, camping, travel, and adventure. Question of the day: what is something you carry that you think might surprise the rest of us? Maybe something with multiple uses too. Maybe a new use for something we all probably carry anyway. Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.